Welcome to Paro, everybody. Aero Inc.'s PSX 747 with scenery generator, which is P3D, and we're going into Paro, Bhutan, runway 33. I'm just running through some legs here, which I've devised for us to fly an LNAV-VNAV approach into there, into quite poor conditions. I would say probably you'd get away with a cloud base of 300 feet. Certainly not something local airlines would ever dare to try, but it's fun to do this. We've got the aircraft set up a long way out here, 20 miles out, flying with the gear and the flaps fully set for landing. Speed right back because we've got to go through those valleys. Talking of the valleys, let's have a look ahead of us and behind as well to see the sort of terrain we're flying up. There is a valley there with a very tight approach if you want to come in right low down. Not recommended, I don't think. The VNAV approach I've devised will come in. As long as you don't go low on the VNAV profile, you will survive. Here we go, going up to our first waypoint, TAC 17. So fix back from the Tasky holding point. As we turn down there, you can see we're basically following the line of the valley. The airfield itself, as you can see from the map, lies off to our left as we turn around the curve of the valley. And as we roll out here, you'll see that we're going to shortly be taking quite a big left turn, and the idea of that is to miss this ridge which you can see just below the nav display. There's a very small gap there that you can fly through. Just having a look again where we've been. A lot of terrain there as well. You can do all kinds of things with the fixed page, so just put in your sector safe altitude if you wish. What I'll point out here is that all the way down this approach I've simply got the airfield elevation dialed in, which is a complete no-no. Do it properly, but it's the only way we're going to get this in. And the vertical profile behaving itself very nicely on a nice approach path without having a huge rate of descent. I don't recommend you try and fly this manually. The autopilot will turn at the correct point to keep you clear of the high ground. And as we approach this ridge, you'll see just how close we get. I've devised a knot below altitude of 10,800 feet at this place, which on my FMC at any rate is called Pro 21. Yours will have something different, I'm sure, depending how you program it. Shows how many times it took me to get it right. But you mustn't go below that height, otherwise you will hit the ridge. And to that end, what you need to do here is pull the oral warning circuit breakers, the Malway circuit breakers on the P7 panel. They are forward left corner as you look. Pull those two breakers, I think they're 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. That'll stop the GPWS shouting at you and enable you to keep your terrain display. And if you want height callouts for landing, you'll have to put those circuit breakers back in on short final. So here we come around the turn, and you'll see just how close we are to the mountain as we come round. Just putting the music back on. So this ridge is the one on the left. You won't clear it by much. Don't panic. I've done loads of these approaches with this profile and it's worked every time. Just do not go low. everybody flew this profile into Paro using, see there we've got a pull-up display there, using Aerowings, you could actually put everybody pretty well in trail, because provided they land correctly, they should actually be able to make the turn off using full braking. On that subject, you can't see it from here, but the auto brakes are set to max. I'm going to override those immediately after landing with full braking anyway. As we come up to our next turn, we've passed the hill, we can now continue descending, and if you look to the right you'll see the next valley. We're going down, and then behind us a view of the hill there, just to show how close we get. This is Top of the Hip Parade in Bhutan, by the way, this music. Available free on the gentleman's website. Can't pronounce his name. Here's the valley as we come down. And notice this is all done with the autopilot in. I reckon you can fly this approach, provided that it is properly programmed, all the way down to about 300 feet with the autopilot in. But don't let it get high at the final stages, or you'll never get to the runway. If it does start to go high, take the autopilot out. You should have taken the auto throttle out earlier, by the way. I'm going to take it out shortly anyway, you'll see that. There it goes. Yeah, if you start getting high, take the autopilot out, but keep the flight director on, because the roll command is actually very accurate on this programming, and will actually guide you to the runway itself. But you'll have to look after the rate of descent, and you'll have quite a steep rate of descent as you come around the final turn. That's life, I'm afraid. We're not meant to fly into Paro. So at this stage we still can't even see the runway. It's hidden behind the hill that's just ahead of you. Through 1,000 feet, as you can see. Rate of descent having to build up now to stay on the profile. As you can see, you can't go any lower or you'll hit the hills. Now we're going to get our first glimpse of the runway. Still on autopilot. In fact, this profile coming in very nicely. Just levelling off in path now, so I'm taking out the autopilot. Things as level as possible. Only a 30-metre wide runway here, so it looks quite alarming. Don't mess around for greasers. Plonk it on. And a bit of a wobble there. Ooh, get over. Ooh, that's better. Full braking. And you can see it's only a 2,000 metre runway and we're 7,400 feet up, but with full braking we can manage it actually. And I'm just having a bit of a faff with my reversers. I'll sort those out in a minute and taxi in. Parking's going to be a problem here. There's not a lot of room, as you'll see. Watch out for that windsock, Pete. Ooh. So there we go, Paro. It does need practice, guys. I wouldn't recommend you going cold and watch the windsock. Ooh, watch the windsock. Nothing to see here. There we go. It does need practice to get in, but very rewarding to manage it. And after a bit of practice, you should find that you can pretty well get it in every time. But of course, we're only going to get one go. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's informative and looking forward to world flight. Bye for now.